Hello. It's the 4th of July, 2022. Sack. We love him. We call him Sack. We love our Sack. We're so good to our Sack. Sometimes we're mean to our Sack, but we don't really mean it. He challenged something about American made, whatever. I'm not doing that. So this isn't going to be that. Good luck to the rest of you with that, groomsmen. But I decided to kind of recreate the Revolutionary War, so to speak, on my face. So I shall be doing a red, white, and blue-ish type thing. My goal is to do as many American and British-made products as I can that follow that red, white, and blue theme, so that's what I'm doing today. And we're going to start it off by breaking that rule and using Parasso Red Pre-Shave, which is Italian, but as you can see, I have rather significant growth going. I've been waiting for things to heal that aren't healing, and I'm sick of waiting, so I'm not prone to blemishes, but when I get them good. So we get the Parasso Red Pre-Shave, the sandalwood and shave butter, just to help further soften up these whiskers, protect my skin. And then we'll get into so that's some red for you. All right. Pack that up. Let it sit there for a minute, do its thing. For the white and blue here, I'm calling this white, it's cream. It's obviously my Simpsons Commodore X3. And sticking with the Brits for just a minute, we're gonna be using some Taylorville Bond Street, German Street. Obviously, butchered that in the video I used it in. I usually use this in my travel kit. Didn't end up doing a travel shave. And so let's start lathering and talk about what we're doing here. So I've got it all lathered up here. So obviously we all know about the Revolutionary War, why we celebrate Independence Day, whatever that means to people these days. It means more to some people than others, unfortunately, but I guess we won't go there. But such a good fragrance. But to keep it on message here, I'm going to be using one British razor with as British of a blade as I can get. If you know of any currently made British blades, let me know. I'm just out of curiosity more than me actually wanting one. And an American made razor with an American made blade, which you probably can already know what that blade's gonna be. May already know what razor it's gonna be too, if you know me. But without further ado, let's meet our razors for today's Revolutionary War. So of course, the away team, the Rocket HD, rocking a Wilkinson sword, which are currently made in Germany, I believe, which is still better than a lot of other countries I could have taken, I guess, as long as you don't look too far into the past. But, so I'm using that just because in the spirit, Wilkinson sword was a British company at one point in time. And then for the home team, you've guessed it, the red tip, of course, 1956 Gillette red tip with a lab blue Persona American made in USA blade. So these are very interesting. They're very similar yet different in terms of weight and everything. So obviously the HD, I think, feels a little bit heavier, a little more solid. The knurling is more pronounced, of course, on the red tip than it is on the HD. Otherwise, I've not pitted these against each other, so I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to go. So let's not wait. We're going to give home field advantage, of course, because it was fought in American soil. to our USA razor here. You hear that? Gonna put some work in today. If you followed my last video, my baby did not end up testing positive for COVID. He had some other lovely viral infection that caused lots of good stuff, like vomiting, fever, diarrhea, and a viral rash. But he seems to be on the mend. He just turned 2 yesterday, so we did his little birthday celebration. And as much as we want to go to the fireworks tonight, it's supposed to storm within the next couple hours. And then again right at like dusk. Oh, we'll see. If I had we have a big festival that goes on in my town, the Cherry Festival, every year at this time. And I don't really want to take them into that in the first place, especially if there's a chance it's gonna rain. Cause then I gotta hustle back to the car in the storm and deal with that. And I don't really want to deal with that, so we'll see. Maybe we'll think of something. We'll see how it goes. And now for the Rocket HD, smooth as ever on the red tip. It's my favorite vintage for a reason. It may. I guess we're putting my two favorite vintage razors against each other here today, aren't we? So we'll see. So definitely a little more heft, I feel like, on this side. It's definitely mowing it down. It's probably about even. It's a bit smoother. This is a second use Wilkinson sword, but sometimes that second shave a lot of the times is the best shave you get with a blade, in my opinion. I know it's probably not an unpopular opinion to think that. Some blades you even strop or cork the first time through to get rid of that first shave because it's so rough, like a Vashkad or even a feather for some people. But we're not talking about those today, so we're doing this British setup here. I'm gonna try to do it as raw and unedited as possible, like Scott likes to do. Yeah, obviously I need additional passes here, but so far, let me get in here and really feel it. I would probably say at least the first round is going to go to the USA. At this point in time, let's get lathered up again and go. I hope you're all well and staying safe and eating lots of grilled meats today. I got hot dogs and chicken to make on the grill. I'm gonna try to sneak it in between the storms today. Doing some chicken two ways, one with just a seasoned blend that's made locally, and the other one with some Stubbs barbecue rub. Delicious either way. Grilled chicken, anything grilled really. Big fan. So that's what's coming up tonight. rain or shine, I'm gonna cook that on the grill, I think, as long as I'm not gonna get electrocuted. So yeah, the Wilkinson sword, now made in Germany, not the UK anymore. I don't know what year they stopped making it in the UK, but they did, evidently. And you can get the Wilkinson Gillette, which are made in India, with sling pack and everything. I know those are a favorite of Ken Surf's, I believe, but I've not tried them. Consider that Wilkinson's. Ooh, hello. We'll leave that in there. Consider that body awareness. Wilkinson sword, a little. Get that back in place there. Here we go. A little nod to Germany getting, helping get the U.S. involved in World War I. Call it a friendly torpedo. I just watched the made-for-TV, what do you want to call it? Docudrama, maybe we'll call it, of the sinking of the Lusitania by the German U-boats in 1915, which, 2 years later, but it helped facilitate the United States entry into World War I. Decent movie. Thank God it's only an hour and a half. But it took 20 minutes roughly, not even, like less than, I think, for the Lusitania to sink after it was fired on with lots and lots and lots of women and children and just ordinary citizens. I think everyone's got an opinion on it. Supposedly the Germans didn't think they would sink it with just one torpedo, but also it's been purported that they were carrying lots of munitions from the States to go over to England, the Brits, for their troops, and there's a theory that there was a secondary explosion that occurred that was due to the munitions and everything. But then there's people that say when they did dives and everything, there's still lots of munitions that didn't even explode or anything. But either way, it wasn't expected that one, the U-boat could catch them, and two, that if they did that, they'd be able to sink such a large boat. There's a scene in the movie where the lieutenant, captain, I believe, says something to the effect that, even if they don't sink her, they can at least bloody her nose. And then them all being shocked that they did sink her. And if you don't know, the Brits, obviously, world-renowned navy for a long, long time, which will happen when you're an island nation. But they were basically occupying the German harbors to keep them from getting supplies they needed into their country via that ship. I want to try to split this up between them. And they started sinking merchant vessels that were United or UK bound and or owned. And Lusitania was coming from New York over to, where are they gonna land? They were just off the coast of Ireland when they got sunk. I know that much. I don't remember where they were supposed to land. Birmingham? Is Birmingham too obvious of a choice though? But there were survivors, but mostly not. Captain actually survived. Tried to go down with the ship, but the ship didn't want him and it kicked him out. He was recovered unconscious, but alive. Stood trial, and in the movie they depict that the British Admiralty We're trying to cover their asses a little bit and trying to hang out the captain to dry, make it seem that it was entirely his fault for not following commands. Supposedly no one thought it was possible that the U-boats, because they could only go about half as fast, I think 12 or 13 knots, whereas the Lusitania could go 23, 24 maybe. And it's just so big. I just didn't think it would be possible, but just it happened. And hundreds of people died. Almost 1,000, I think. I don't remember how many now offhand. That was a weird tangent, but we made it. Just doing a little touch up here. I'm gonna try to decide if I can split it between the two razors. And then we'll get to the post shave. Didn't do too bad together though, for all that growth. Normally I would have broke out the R41. But that ain't made in the States or the UK. It's hard to tell sometimes when you use a tube of shaving cream if you've used enough or not. I think I have just enough to pull this off right now. I started with it last time, so we'll go with the red tip right now. Yeah, my current, if you can't tell, my current YouTube obsession is watching shipwreck videos. My favorite thus far being Part-Time Explorer, whose secondary channel is Maritime Horrors, I believe. It's actually a shipwreck about 45 minutes to an hour away from me, and one of my favorite places to hike, which is Pyramid Point, which is 300 some feet above Lake Michigan. And on a really sunny day and clear day in the water, you can see the sun reflecting off the boiler of the ship. I want to say it's the Rising Sun is the name of the wreck. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, I think there are actually thousands of shipwrecks in the Great Lakes themselves. Obviously we know the Edmund Fitzgerald, the Pride of the American Side, the Muddy Fitz, next to Gordon Lightfoot. You can go up to the Whitefish Point where they were trying to get to for safety, we think. Lots of other ships even more recently and stuff too. Too many names in my head right now. All right, well, we're gonna live with the results. Is it as smooth as I normally like my shaves to be? No, but we're working on that. And it's not your problem. I got a real aggressive razor coming in the mail right now. We'll talk about that more when it gets here. And then I don't have a matching splash for German Street yet. I've not used any of the top splashes yet. I do plan to, next time I order from Maggard's, because they do samples of their splashes, get a sample of German Street. Let's see, they're kind of expensive. And the problem with a lot of these vintage splashes for me, and I know they're still making it, so it's not really vintage, but the ones that have been being made for a while, is that they don't have as many beneficial ingredients in them as, you know, like an Ariana Evans or 345 or a Phoenix or, you know, Holy Caw, obviously. Places like that. So I don't know, I'd rather try it because they're kind of pricey considering that it might just be fragrance, water, alcohol, and you know, a handful of other things. I don't really want to pay that much, and that's why it's okay. So to go with German Street, I've already sprayed some on before because you should do it right when you get out of the shower. But I have my new-ish bottle of Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. I'll spray some more on here for you in just a second. I wouldn't normally recommend that you spray fragrance directly on freshly shaved skin, but it's all right. We already put some witch hazel toner on, so that's good there. Obviously, I normally do more spritzes than that, but I've already sprayed it. So, good thing about Bleu de Chanel is you can pretty much use about as much of it as you want, and within 6 hours it'll be gone. But yeah, okay. So together, this little war. Fortunately, there weren't any casualties on my face thus far. This is all just stuff that I'm trying to get to heal, and it hasn't yet. So, but my face is freshly shaven again, at least, and we'll just play that game once more. So I hope you all have a good 4th whenever this goes up. It won't be today, the 4th of July, but I hope you all had a good 4th and got to see family and got to do something that was important to you with people who are important to you. And we're going to call that a shave. And as always, we'll see you next time. Thank you.